The year is 1966, a time of cultural revolution, Cold War tensions, and burgeoning space exploration that captured the global imagination. In the vibrant, sprawling nation of Brazil, a story was about to unfold that would forever be etched in the annals of high strangeness. This is the story of the lead masks case, a mystery that blends science, spiritualism, and the tantalizing possibility of an encounter with the unknown. It began on August 27, 1966, when a young boy, Jorge da Costa Alves, was flying his kite on the slopes of Vintim Hill, a place known for its commanding views of Niterói and Guanabara Bay. The hill, whose name translates to Penny Hill, was a popular spot for locals, but on this day, it held a grim secret. As Jorge searched for his fallen kite in the dense undergrowth, he stumbled upon a scene that would haunt him forever. Two men lay dead, side by side in a small clearing. They were dressed impeccably in matching suits and waterproof coats, an odd choice for the subtropical climate. Their formal attire suggested they were prepared for an important meeting, not a trek up a rugged hill. Bodies were identified as Manuel Pereira da Cruz, 32, and Miguel José Viana, 34. Both were electronics technicians from the nearby town of Campos do Goitacazes, a detail that would add another layer to the already deepening mystery. The scene was strangely serene, with no signs of a struggle or any obvious trauma to the bodies. It was as if they had simply laid down and expired. But the most bizarre and enduring detail of the discovery was what lay upon their faces. Each man wore a crude, homemade lead mask, the kind one might fashion for protection against radiation. These were not sophisticated devices, but simple sheets of lead cut into the shape of spectacles. Beside the bodies, investigators found a small collection of items: an empty water bottle, 2 small towels, and a notebook. The notebook contained a cryptic, almost coded message, written in what appeared to be a mix of Portuguese and esoteric symbols. The note read, 1630, be at the specified location, 1830. Ingest capsules. After the effect, protect metals await. Signal mask, dottai. Done. This strange directive became the central clue in a case that had very few. An autopsy was performed, but the tropical heat had accelerated decomposition, making a definitive cause of death impossible to determine. The internal organs were too compromised for reliable toxicological analysis, a crucial missing piece of the puzzle. Investigators were left with a scene straight out of a science fiction novel: 2 dead men, lead masks, and a cryptic note hinting at a prearranged, clandestine event. The police began to piece together the final days of Manuel and Miguel. They learned the 2 men were known to be interested in scientific spiritualism, a fringe belief system that attempted to blend scientific principles with paranormal and extraterrestrial phenomena. They were part of a group that conducted experiments aimed at communicating with other dimensions or even alien life. Friends and family reported that Manuel and Miguel had become increasingly obsessed with their esoteric pursuits. They had built strange electronic devices in their workshop, claiming they were for communication with the beyond. The day they left for Niterói, they told their families they were going to São Paulo to buy a car and some materials for their work. They carried with them a briefcase containing a large sum of money, approximately 2,300,000 Brazilian cruzeiros. They boarded a bus to Niterói, a journey of several hours. A waitress at a bar near the bus station in Niterói was one of the last people to see them alive. She recalled that Miguel seemed particularly agitated, constantly checking his watch as if waiting for a specific time. They purchased a bottle of mineral water, the same kind found at the scene, and then left. From there, it is believed they took a taxi to the base of Vintam Hill. The driver was never identified. What happened between their arrival at the hill and their deaths remains the core of the mystery. The cryptic note seemed to be a set of instructions for a ritual. 16:30. Be at the specified location. They were clearly there on time. 18:30. Ingest capsules. This suggests the voluntary consumption of some substance. Were these capsules poison? Or perhaps a hallucinogen intended to facilitate a spiritual or extraterrestrial experience? After the effect protect metals await signal mask. This part is the most enigmatic. Await signal mask seems to directly reference the lead masks they wore. The leading theory, and the one that captured the public's imagination, was that Manuel and Miguel died during an attempt to contact aliens. Proponents of this theory believe the men were part of a UFO cult and that the event on Vintam Hill was a planned rendezvous. The lead masks, in this scenario, were to protect their eyes from the brilliant, blinding light of a spacecraft. The capsules could have been a substance to heighten their senses or induce a trance-like state. The signal they were waiting for was the arrival of the UFO. This theory was bolstered by several local residents who reported seeing a bright, orange egg-shaped object hovering over Vintam Hill on the night of August 17th, the presumed date of their deaths. One woman, Gracinda Barbosa Coutinho de Souza, and her children claimed to have witnessed the object for several minutes before it ascended rapidly and vanished. Another witness, a security guard, also reported a similar sighting. A friend of the two men, a man named Raul, later came forward to the police. He claimed that Manuel and Miguel were part of a group that sought to prove the existence of extraterrestrials. He said they had spoken of a final test that would culminate in a direct encounter. This test, he explained, involved taking certain capsules and wearing protective masks. The money they carried was supposedly for the purchase of more equipment for their experiments. However, the money was never found, leading to an alternative theory: robbery and murder. Perhaps the men were lured to the remote location under the pretense of a UFO meeting, only to be robbed and killed. The elaborate scene with the masks and the note could have been a clever misdirection to confuse investigators. Yet, the lack of any signs of violence on the bodies makes this theory less plausible. There were no bullet wounds, no stab wounds, no signs of a struggle. If they were robbed, why were their expensive suits and watches left untouched? Another theory suggests an accidental overdose. The capsules could have been a dangerous cocktail of drugs that the men, inexperienced in their use, took in a fatal quantity. This would explain the lack of violence, but it doesn't fully account for the lead masks or the elaborate preparations. Why wear lead masks if you are simply taking drugs? A more mundane explanation points to a lightning strike. Vintam Hill is exposed, and thunderstorms are common in the region. However, the weather reports for that night did not indicate any significant electrical storms. Furthermore, a lightning strike would have likely left burn marks on the bodies of the surrounding vegetation, none of which were found. The case took another strange turn when investigators looked into the source of the lead used for the masks. It was traced back to Manuel's workshop, where he had been experimenting with various electronic components. This confirmed the masks were self-made, part of their planned experiment. Years passed, and the case remained unsolved, a cold case file gathering dust. The mystery deepened with the death of a fellow scientific spiritualist named Hermes, who was also connected to the group. Died in a car accident under circumstances that some found suspicious, leading to speculation that he was silenced. The lead masks case became a cultural phenomenon in Brazil. It was the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and television shows. It fueled the growing UFO subculture and became a cautionary tale about the dangers of dabbling in the unknown. The story of Manuel and Miguel is a tragic one. Two men, driven by a fervent belief, embarked on a quest that ended in their untimely deaths. Were they victims of a hoax? Did they accidentally poison themselves? Or did they, against all odds, achieve their goal and make contact with something from beyond our world? The truth may never be known. Slopes of Vintame Hill hold their secrets close. The lid masks, now iconic symbols of the case, remain a testament to the enduring power of mystery and the human desire to believe in something greater than ourselves. The cryptic note, with its strange instructions, is a final, tantalizing clue in a puzzle with no solution. The image of the two men in their suits, lying peacefully under the Brazilian sky, is a haunting reminder of the fine line between faith and folly. The case serves as a stark example of how a few strange details can transform a tragedy into a legend. The lack of a clear cause of death allowed speculation to run wild, filling the vacuum of knowledge with fantastic theories. The media frenzy surrounding the case amplified its notoriety, turning it into a global sensation. Ufologists from around the world descended on Niteroi, each with their own interpretation of the events. Jacques Vallée, a prominent French ufologist, visited the site and claimed to have found evidence of radiation, further fueling the extraterrestrial hypothesis. However, these claims were never independently verified. The police investigation, hampered by the initial lack of evidence and the rapid decomposition of the bodies, eventually reached a dead end. The case was officially closed, but the questions remained. What were the capsules? Who were they supposed to meet? What was the signal? The families of Manuel and Miguel were left with no answers, only the enduring pain of their loss and the bizarre legacy of the lead masks. The story has been re-examined countless times over the decades, with each new generation of investigators and enthusiasts bringing fresh perspectives. Some have suggested the men were involved in espionage, and the masks were a form of primitive protection against a chemical or biological agent. This theory, however, lacks any concrete evidence. Others have proposed that the men were victims of a rare natural phenomenon, such as a pocket of toxic gas released from the ground. This could explain their peaceful deaths, but not the masks or the note. The most enduring theory, the one that continues to capture the imagination, is the one that involves a close encounter of the third kind. It's a theory that speaks to our deepest hopes and fears about our place in the universe. It's a theory that turns a sad and strange story into an epic of cosmic proportions. The lead masks case is more than just an unsolved mystery. It's a modern myth. It's a story that reflects the anxieties and aspirations of its time. An era when humanity was reaching for the stars and wondering what, or who, might be reaching back. The tale of the two technicians on Vintame Hill is a reminder that the world is still full of mysteries, and that sometimes the strangest stories are the ones that are true. The sun sets over Vintame Hill, casting long shadows over the place where two men met their mysterious end. Wind whispers through the trees, carrying with it the unanswered questions of that fateful night in 1966. The lead masks, locked away in an evidence room, are silent witnesses to a story that has become a legend. The mystery endures, a testament to the human fascination with the unknown and the enduring power of a good story. The case remains a chilling and perplexing footnote in the history of ufology. It is a story that defies easy explanation, a puzzle with too many missing pieces. The lead masks have become a symbol of the ultimate unknown, a gateway to a realm of speculation and wonder. The final moments of Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel Jose Viana are lost to time, a secret they took with them to their graves. Their story serves as a cautionary tale about the pursuit of knowledge at all costs. It is a reminder that some doors are best left unopened. The mystery of the lead masks case is a story that will continue to be told and retold, a modern folktale for the space age. It is a story that asks us to question our reality, to look up at the stars and wonder. The legacy of the lead masks is not one of answers, but of questions. It is a legacy of mystery, of intrigue, and of the enduring human quest for meaning in a vast and often incomprehensible universe. The silence from Vintam Hill is deafening, a void that has been filled with a half-century of speculation. The two men in their Sunday best, lying on a bed of leaves, have become archetypes of the cosmic seeker. Their strange, self-made masks are a poignant symbol of their desperate, and ultimately fatal, attempt to shield their eyes from a truth they believed was coming. The capsules they ingested remain a central, unanswered question. Were they a sacrament, a poison, or a key to another dimension? The signal they awaited never came, or perhaps it did, in a form no one could have predicted. The orange UFO, a fleeting vision for a few, became the centerpiece of a grand, extraterrestrial narrative. The lack of any physical evidence of a struggle left the door wide open for non-violent, and therefore more mysterious, explanations. The money they carried, a substantial sum, vanished as completely as their lives, adding a layer of common criminality to an otherwise otherworldly tale. Scientific spiritualism they practiced was a product of its time, a fusion of post-war technological optimism and age-old mysticism. Their workshop, filled with wires and strange contraptions, was a modern alchemist's laboratory. The town of Campos dos Goitacazes, their home, was thrust into the national spotlight, a provincial town suddenly at the center of a cosmic drama. The waitress who served them their last drink became an unwitting witness, her memory of a nervous man checking his watch a key detail in the timeline. The police, faced with a scene unlike any they had ever encountered, were ill-equipped to handle the bizarre evidence. The failure to conduct a timely and thorough toxicology report was a critical error that ensured the mystery would endure. The case file, thick with witness statements, dead-end leads, and speculative reports, is a testament to the complexity of the investigation. The closing of the case was not an admission of resolution, but an acknowledgement of defeat. Death of their associate, Hermes, added a sinister twist, suggesting a conspiracy to silence those who knew too much. The story's persistence in popular culture speaks to its power as a modern myth, a story that resonates with our collective unconscious. The lead masks themselves, crude and almost childlike, are what make the story so visually arresting and unforgettable. They are a tangible link to an intangible mystery. The formal suits, so out of place on the rugged hillside, suggest a level of seriousness and preparation that belies a simple accident. The waterproof coats, a practical item, hinted a plan that accounted for the elements, but not for the ultimate outcome. The empty water bottle is a mundane detail that grounds the story in reality. A reminder that these were ordinary men caught in an extraordinary event. The two towels, neatly folded, add to the sense of order and deliberation that pervades the scene. The notebook, with its cryptic message, is the Rosetta Stone of the case, a text that has been deciphered in 1,000 different ways, yet understood by none. The phrase, "protect metals," is particularly baffling. Was it a literal instruction, or a metaphor for something else entirely? The signal they were waiting for, was it a sound, a light, a telepathic message? The location, Vintam Hill, has become a pilgrimage site for the curious, a place where the veil between worlds is said to be thin. The view from the hill, overlooking the bay and the city, provides a dramatic backdrop for the final act of their lives. The story is a uniquely Brazilian one, a blend of Catholic mysticism, African spiritualism, and a fascination with the technological future. It is a story that could only have happened in a place where the magical and the mundane coexist so closely. The 1960s were a time of great social and political upheaval in Brazil, and the lead mask's case can be seen as a reflection of the anxieties of that era. Men's quest for a higher truth can be interpreted as a desire to escape the turmoil of their earthly existence. Their deaths, so strange and inexplicable, became a symbol of the country's own uncertain future. The case is a reminder that even in our modern, scientific world, there are still things that defy rational explanation. It is a story that forces us to confront the limits of our own understanding. The lead masks are a barrier, not just for the men who wore them, but for all of us who try to peer into the heart of this mystery. The final image is one of profound and unsettling stillness. Two bodies, two masks, and a silent, watching sky. The enigma of Vintem Hill is a story that has no end, a question that hangs forever in the warm Brazilian air. The tale is a somber meditation on belief, and the lengths to which people will go to find meaning. It is a story that continues to haunt and fascinate, a dark jewel in a crown of Forteana. The mystery is not just what happened to the men, but why. What drove them to that lonely hilltop? What did they hope to find? The answers, it seems, are as elusive as the signal they were waiting for. The case is a perfect storm of strange coincidences and tantalizing clues, a recipe for an enduring legend. The lead masks are the ultimate symbol of this ambiguity, at once protective and obscuring, a shield against the blinding light and a veil that hides the truth. The story of Manuel and Miguel is a journey into the heart of darkness, a trip from which they never returned. And we, the audience to this strange drama, are left to wonder what they saw in their final moments, behind the cold, dark lead of their homemade masks.